Hello and welcome to the fourth video in my series of videos showing how I upgrade my Caterham Academy car up to Caterham Graduates Sigma 135 specification. And today we're going to look at adding the rear anti-roll bar. Now the Caterham Academy car runs the entire season with no rear anti-roll bar whatsoever, and it gives the car its classic characteristics which really are terrific for learning to track drive and find that limit in the safest possible way. So the addition of the rear anti-roll bar is a step towards improving the stiffness and the overall effectiveness of the suspension. While other Caterhams I've owned have had rear anti-roll bars, I've never got involved with making an adjustment. So when I added the anti-roll bar onto my car now, I took some advice from a fellow driver from Caterham Graduates. You're going to get to meet lots of the drivers throughout the season. Today I'm going to introduce you to a driver called Zed. Zed is the 2019 Sigma 135 champion from Caterham Graduates, and I contacted him to ask if he would give me an outline of the adjustments of the anti-roll bar. So for today's video we're next going to take a look at how to add the anti-roll bar, and then after we'll come back and have a chat about the different settings and some of the top tips from Zed. Straight in with top tip number one for if you built your own car without the rear anti-roll bar. If like me you will have followed the instructions and only fitted the mount for the speedo on the driver's side. What I didn't realise at that time is the mount is also used for the mounting point of the rear anti-roll bar. Now luckily, as I'm a bit of a hoarder, I kept this mounting bracket along with all the other bits left over from my build. I was able to dig through the box of bits and retrieve the mount required. First of all, I removed the two bolts which mount the caliper to the DD-on tube and fit the mount in place. These bolts are torqued to 47 Newton meters. Please note, if you use an extension bar or a universal joint with a torque wrench, this can alter the accuracy of the torque wrench. The location of this bolt left me with little choice than to take that route, so the lesser of two evils. Also, I do fully spanner check my car before each outing on track. Here are the contents of the rear anti-roll bar kit: the anti-roll bar itself, the rubber bushings, the drop links and the mounting brackets. The first job is to get the rubber bushings in the correct place on the anti-roll bar. This is a really tight fit. To allow the rubber bushing to pass over the end of the anti-roll bar, round a 90-degree corner onto the actual bar of the anti-roll bar, you will need some silicone lubricant. Apply plenty of lubricant onto the bar and into the rubber bushing. I was able to get the rubber bushing right the way around the corner with using just my hands. On your chassis you will see the mounting location for the anti-roll bar. The first job is to carefully pass the anti-roll bar through the chassis. This can be quite tricky if you are mounting the anti-roll bar retrospectively, as there are many components now in the way, such as the differential, the drive shafts and also the handbrake cables. I like the quality of the mounting for the anti-roll bar. Machined into the facing of the mounting is top and bottom. As you can see, one is thicker than the other. At this stage I'm just loosely tightening the nut and bolt. Fit the mounting on the other side before fully tightening. These are tightened to just 14 Newton meters. Next is the preparation of the drop links. Before starting this task, I referred to Caterham's old build manual. My car was provided with the newer assembly guide, edition 1.2. Whilst I really like this guide as it's very visual, sometimes the old guide can be invaluable. I downloaded a copy for the initial build of my car and often referred to this before starting a job. In the old build manual, it recommends that you shorten the drop links as much as possible. Once the bar is shortened, you need to lock up the nuts again. There was a nut supplied on the drop link. This was removed and discarded, and I used the nylock nuts provided. At the end of today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about which setting to use on the anti-roll bar. It's not recommended to use the outermost position. A good starting point is the third hole out from inboard. The other end of the drop link is attached to the bracket holding the speed sensor, and repeat on the other side. And there we go. That's how to add a rear anti-roll bar onto a Caterham. A nice straightforward job, that one. Now, as promised, I said at the beginning of the video, we'd have a chat about the different settings for the anti-roll bar. And as mentioned, for this, I reached out to Zed from Caterham Graduates. He was very generous and shared lots of information with me. I'm going to pass on some of that now. And also during the season, I've got some other top tips that I will try. And as I try them, I will share those as well. So Zed, thank you so much for your time and being so generous with your knowledge and information. On the anti-roll bar, you will see that there are 4 locations for mounting the drop link. Each of these holes relates to a different level of stiffness. The 4th hole, furthest away from the anti-roll bar itself, is far too soft and gives too much travel. In fact, so much travel that the roll bar arm could come back and puncture the CV boot. So we've been told not to use that 4th hole. The 3rd hole away from the roll bar is the setting that I've been familiar with before now with my road Caterhams. This is the softest of the recommended settings to use, at least anyway. And on track, this is often a setting you would use in a damp or wet conditions. So what I've been told is often the 2nd hole from the roll bar is not often used, and if anything you would opt for the nearest hole to the roll bar for the stiffest setting, and this is the setting you would use on a dry track, and more often than not this is where the roll bar would be set to. There is, however, a further setting which can be used for wet tracks, and that's to remove the effect of the anti-roll bar altogether. And to do this, we can simply disconnect the drop link from one side. When you disconnect the drop link, it's important to tie this in place so it's not going to foul anything whilst the car is out on circuit, of course. So Zed, thank you very much for that information. It's most appreciated by me and I'm sure the other viewers of the channel. And you're going to get to meet Zed in the paddock and out on the track very soon when we get back out on circuit at the start of the season, which isn't too far away now. Please do go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. I'm looking forward to bringing you more videos of my upgrade journey to Caterham Graduates Sigma 135 soon. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching.